This course has been authored by a qualified expert and is delivered in a self-paced format. It's been designed to help you accelerate the mastery and retention of the concepts and skills using a structured learning plan, interactive content, knowledge checks, access to live support, and much more.
Welcome to Administrating Windows Server 2012. In this course, we have a lot of material to cover. Now, in typical administration classes, we learn the raw basics: how to install a server, how to create a user, how to create a group or an organizational unit. But in this class, we actually take a much deeper dive. So yes, you will see how to create a user, and we'll talk a little bit about it, or even a group. But really the focus is how to manage it more from an infrastructure viewpoint, as well as maintaining the actual data, like the Active Directory database. So let's take a look, a little bit deeper dive as to what this course is all about. We're going to start off the course by looking at server deployment and management. Now, when you think about the scope of what it's going to take, not just to install a server, anyone can install a server. In fact, if hit next enough times, you'll get it up and running. But really, in a larger environment, how to do it efficiently. So we'll talk a lot about Windows deployment services and how to mount images and create answer files so that you're not recreating the wheel every single time you deploy another server. So with WDS becomes a lot of knowledge because we get to talk about transport services, how to deal with updates. We have a base image, how to update that image, how to add other operating system images. Because typically in a larger network environment, you're constantly deploying servers and workstations alike. Now, once they're deployed, you don't necessarily go home and hang up your coat. We always have to keep an eye on these servers because things go wrong and/or they get overutilized. So after we talk about the actual deployment of the servers themselves, we will talk about how to monitor them. It all starts with creating a baseline to know what they should be doing and to make sure that they stay within the baseline, or that you monitor growth so you know when it's time to deploy new servers. Now, once the server is out there, you have to think about what the server stands for. Most people are on the server for files and/or printers. So based on that, again, we could be very random. Someone needs an accounting share, so you can right-click on a folder and share it, or you can look at it from more of an infrastructure base to figure out where the users are, where the servers are, and what types of availability these users need for their data. Because of that, we'll go down through Distributed File Services, which is DFS. We'll also look at the File Server Resource Manager, which is my personal favorite. That's where you get to find all of the users' iTunes libraries and family photos from their last vacation, using up all of the server space. So once we're done deciding how to share it best and how to monitor what people are putting on those shares, we'll then move towards file and disk encryption and advanced audit policies, how to keep it safe, and how to figure out who's doing what. We'll then go through the network infrastructure. In particular, we spend a lot of time with DNS. DNS zones, primary, secondary, Active Directory, even stub zones, to try to add a little bit of meaning. Now, once we understand the basis of DNS, again, not just how to add the role service, but how to plan it a little bit better, we'll go through some troubleshooting tools that are available to troubleshoot DNS. Now, once we step outside of the servers and the monitoring and how people are accessing their data, which again is both in file services and DNS to help them get there, we have to talk about the remote workers. Nowadays, it's more evident that most people are working remotely, either on a regular basis or as they travel, or even a lot of companies have Friday at home day. So based on that, we'll get a chance to talk about some of the changes to routing remote access and how they've incorporated direct access. That'll bring us through VPNs, routing, direct access. We'll mention dial-up, but it's not as important as it used to be, meaning yes, we still have the ability, but we have much better ways to do things. And because people are coming in remotely, we get to talk about the network policy server. So how to secure yourself against someone who's sitting in an old home machine that's not maintained, that might have a ton of viruses, maybe an old operating system. How do we protect our network against this person using the remote infrastructure? So that will be our network policy server, the policies themselves, and configuring NAP, which is your actual network access protection. We'll then move on to Active Directory. The heart of all security lies on the user who's trying to log in. So we'll mention everything about service authentication and domain controllers and the services that we need to run, as well as account policies to protect us against hackers who are trying to guess some passwords. Once we're done with the users in your basic Active Directory infrastructure, where we're more familiar with sites and domains and OUs, we'll then look at group policy. Group policy is going to be how we lock down our network, but group policy 100% relies on the Active Directory infrastructure that you've deployed, because that's the organization that you'll be working with.
Enroll now for lifetime access to this course, a certificate of completion, and access to live support whenever you need it.